38. Johnson right, and they send Herman in motion. And Parkinson has it, looking to the screen. He goes to Fredrickson, a great block. And Fredrickson, from the 20-yard line, comes all the way out to the 44, a gain of 24 yards.
Well, hello! Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, this coming Monday, right, April 4th, the Giants will be starting their annual off-season program. Be doing it a couple weeks earlier than most of the rest of the league, okay? Because since they have a new coaching staff, it gives the coaching staff, it's time to get familiar with everybody, and it's only fair. I mean, if you have somebody like like a Bill Belichick, he's been in New England for 20 years, and you got a bunch of guys who are still there, from last season and all, I mean, it's only fair, So Brian Dable, I mean, that'll be good. It'll be very, very interesting. It gives us a little more storylines, as we go along. So in about we got today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days. Okay, the Giants will be together. So that's pretty cool, pretty interesting. Now phase one, okay, the off-season program just pretty much is involved the weight room. All right, for 2 weeks. All right. Phase two will be on the field work, all right, with their position coaches for apparently like 3 weeks. Okay, so then finally phase three, or the OTAs, or organized team activities, will be for 4 weeks. All right, all together. So, and of course, amongst all that time going on, there's going to be the draft. But then you got, but at no point in time, anywhere along, those times, whether obviously in the weight room, on-field activities with the coaches, the position coaches, or the OTAs, is there any contact? All right. I mean, and hearing, about Daniel Jones, should be good to go for this. Maybe the weight room, maybe spending time with their position coaches or OTAs, but there's no contact. All right, so I'm saying, so you should be good. That's good, okay, but that's a heck of a neck sprain. I mean, that's a heck of a neck sprain. He missed the last 6 games last season. So his last action, I was November 28th versus the Eagles. We won 13-7. Chris Myrick, one of our tight ends, caught the only touchdown pass of the game, for the Giants anyway. All right. So that's 4 months, 4 months ago, right? Daniel Jones, and he's finally possibly getting the okay to go through with this stuff, but that doesn't involve any contact. Okay. So what about contact? How long we have to wait for him to get approved for contact? That's a touchy subject. All right, if he breaks a bone, or finger or something like that, you can see on an X-ray, hold it up. Yeah, it's mending pretty good, when you got, because you got stuff running up and down your spine, your neck, and all of that. One thing goes wrong. You could be in a lot of trouble, and football will be the least of his worries if something goes wrong there. So, I mean, this is could be kind of a touchy subject. All right. Maybe that's why the Giants are waiting to see what he looks like, what he maybe moves around like, to see, if they're going to sign him up for his 5th-year option or not. They have until May 2nd. So maybe they want to say, if he gets on the field, maybe what he looks like. Then again, in shorts, he might look fantastic, but, they might be waiting for him, can he get cleared for contact before May 2nd? Because, you want to sign him for a 5th-year option, if it's all guaranteed money, if he may not be cleared for contact. Maybe this is why they signed Tyrod Taylor as well, too. Brought him in, to push Daniel Jones. Okay, all right, I'll give you that. But if you only have about I'm just throwing a number out there roughly, around $20 million, right? Roughly, give or take, whatever, to sign free agents. All right, so if you only have about $20 million or so to spend on free agents, and you have so many holes in this team, all right, you just let Logan Ryan go, trying to trade James Bradbury, you could use an edge rusher or two. You could use another middle linebacker. Plenty of holes on. Or you could use plenty of help on the offense and all that. Why are you spending so much on a backup quarterback? With incentives, if he starts and all and everything, his value of his contract could go up. Okay. But, why are you spending so much on a backup quarterback? Maybe the Giants are, it's like an insurance policy, maybe. Just in case Daniel Jones can't play. As I said, he's been, I'm reading a couple articles, they're thinking he should be good to go, to throw some passes or maybe lift some weights. I said, but that ain't contact. So maybe that's why they're thinking about possibly Tyrod Taylor, and maybe possibly a 2-year deal, with Tyrod. Because if Daniel Jones can't go, then good possibility they're not signing his 5th-year option. Then if you have Tyrod Taylor for next year as well, and then he has the incentives, if he the more I guess I'm not exactly sure what the incentives are. If it's playing time, if it takes the teams in the playoffs, if he does this or that, but he can certainly make a few more $1 million for him, but if you have him for next year as well, the Jones may not ever be able to play ever again. Maybe you draft a quarterback, okay, maybe next year, right, and then you have maybe sit behind Tyrod for a year, and then maybe that's why the Giants are pushing off signing Daniel Jones' 5th-year option as long as they possibly can. They got a little over a month. All right, and I said, but that's why maybe they brought in Tyrod Taylor. Because Davis Webb, Brian Lewerke, those. If you got those guys coming to the game, it's gonna be like the same thing as last year. If Daniel Jones, whatever, gets hurt, you bring those guys in. You just might as fold up shop to the. They're not taking you anywhere. So maybe that's why you got Tyrod Taylor in there. It's maybe some type of an insurance policy. So maybe Daniel Jones is good to go to throw some passes, but maybe not good to go for contact, and he may not ever be good to go for contact. It's you don't know. You just don't know. You sprain your ankle. You sprain this, sprain that. He had that neck sprain like 4 months ago. It's going to be very, very interesting as we go along to see, see what happens, winds up happening. Because so we need, a lot of help on this team. Got a lot of holes, and then you wind up spending maybe around a third or so, maybe 25% of your free agent money on a backup quarterback. And we also, if he ever is okayed for contact, All right. Have we really set Daniel Jones up for success if he is allowed to play? Boy, you really kind of feel sorry for the guy. I mean, you also got to look at it too. Because 2018 he was with Duke. 2019 he was with Shermer, right? And then you figure then the last 2 years he was with the Clapper, and now you got Dable. So he's had in the past 5 years this is his fourth offensive system. Not easy thing to do. And you got obviously a new offensive system. And this is pretty much the make or break year for him. I mean, this is where they got. After that, they're gonna have to start anteing up. So, if he plays, they're gonna have to start seeing some nice production from him. Now, as far as with the running backs, okay, they put Breida in. All right, it's a shame they let Booker go, but I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you got a new coach, new GM, and they have no association with even Devontae Booker. He had a nice year for us. That was Gettleman did good there. That was a good pickup there. Good, not expensive, and Booker did a very nice job for us on a crappy offense. Okay, so shame to see him go, but I mean, if Saquon comes back, if he can stay healthy. The running backs are okay, but I mean also, I've been hearing that possibly, some Giants maybe looking to draft a running back as well too, which also might signal the end of Saquon's era too. I mean, if they got Breida in here, if they draft a running back in the third round or something like that, might want it could possibly be like a running back by committee. I mean, if you don't need Saquon, especially if you're gonna have to. I mean, this year he's $7.2 million. Right? I mean, after this year, you have to sign him. I mean, you could franchise tag him, but I mean, it's just going to cost you a boatload of money. Right? So, I mean, if you try to sign him maybe $10, $12 million a year, is that something the Giants want to do? I don't know. But, I mean, as far as this year, with the running backs, okay, I think, especially if they draft somebody, I mean, they'll be really good with the running backs, okay, this year. All right. But then what about like the wide receivers? Okay, we're really hooking them up with the wide receivers here. Because our main three have a kind of history of kind of getting injured. All right, Shepard, Kadarius Toney, and Golladay. All right, last season Golladay missed 3 games, but I mean, like I think they had a hamstring like the whole preseason. I mean, and the thing is that we got him, and it was like, it's good, man. It's good, so good we got him in this, but it's like, he does have a little history of getting injured, and I think it was the hamstring, like, in training camp, and I don't think he played at all in the preseason, and he missed some time early, so it was like, okay, Golladay, he still got he still got his injury bug going with him. Then you got, of course, Shepard. Last year missed 10 games. Shepard's missed a lot of time the past 3 years. A lot of time. All right. And Kadarius Toney missed 7 games last year. And he had, I don't think I've ever seen somebody he had 6 different injuries. And he was on COVID 2 times. So if you take the COVID away, all right, he had 6 different injuries that he was listed. Maybe he didn't necessarily always miss a game with the specific injuries, but he had 6 different injuries last year. I mean, you got guys like offensive linemen and stuff banging heads with other players every 60, 70 times a game, and they come out and they walk off the field, and they come and they play the next week and they do the same thing. I mean, this guy's running some routes and stuff, and he comes up. It's like almost every week has had a different injury. I mean, kind of makes you. I mean, does the guy want to play football? I mean, but. Regardless, I mean, the big 3 we got in there, okay? I mean, if we can get a healthy Shepard in there, a healthy Kadarius Toney, and a healthy Kenny Golladay in there, all right, and a healthy Saquon Barkley, all right, that's not bad, okay? We need a tight end, all right? But, I mean, that's not bad. But the one thing is that with all 4 of those guys, they have the injury history. So, I mean, so now you're meaning to tell me that, this year Kenny Golladay is going to stay pretty healthy the whole time. Saquon's going to stay healthy the whole year. Shepard's going to stay healthy the whole year. Kadarius Toney's not going to have 6 different injuries, and he's not going to miss 7. Yeah, sure about that. I mean, injured guys get injured. All right, just the way it is. All right, and the Giants, and then you even throw Daniel Jones in there too. I mean, what do all 5 of those guys have in common? They get injured every year. They get injured. So, all right. Now, as I said, then the Giants certainly could draft a wide receiver. These are good. I mean, probably from now until the end of time, it's going to be a good draft class for wide receivers because the way they're throwing the ball nowadays in college, got good quality down. I'm not saying somebody getting the 6th round is going to be as good as somebody in the 1st or 2nd round. I'm not saying that, but I mean, if you draft somebody in the 3rd round, you got somebody who can play some football, right? I mean, you maybe somebody even in the 5th round. I'm sure there's be some good depth if you pick. I'm not saying every player, every wide receiver, but I'm saying there's going to be some good guys out there throughout the draft you can draft. So I mean, that would be a huge help for Daniel Jones, especially if one of our top 3 wind up getting hurt, because there's a good chance that they're gonna. So I mean, if we can, unless you want Colin Johnson out there and Foster out there, I mean, is that something you want to say? Is that setting Daniel Jones up for success? Having Colin Seals Jones out there, a tight end, and Foster out there, wide receiver, Colin Johnson out there. Is that setting him up for success? Absolutely not. As I said, now that leads us kind of to our tight end situation. Now, basically, we have Myrick, Rice and John, and Jake Houseman. Between those 3 guys, they have 3 receptions between the 3 of them. Really sad. So then we picked up Ricky Seals-Jones, but this is his 5th different team in 6 years, okay? And he has a little history with some drops. We let go of Evan Ingram, somebody who has a problem with the drops, and we brought in somebody who has a problem with the drops. Now, you got to remember, guys, right? There's a reason why. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying Ricky Seals-Jones is going to be horrible or this, that, or, I'm just saying sometimes there's a reason why. This is his 5th team in 6 years. Okay? If he was that good, do you think this would be his 5th different team? Nope. Okay? I mean, you can't blame Shane or anything like that because he was just this is the hand he was dealt. He's just trying to field the team and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Maybe draft a guy, this, that, whatever. That's why I said next year we'll have some money we can spend. Maybe we can bring a couple nice free agents in to help out the team. But I mean, this is the hand he's dealt. So I mean, he's got. But I mean, once again. Ricky Seals-Jones, Houseman, Rice and John, and Chris Myrick. Those are our 4 tight ends. I said, no, we can certainly draft somebody. There's some nice tight ends out there. Okay? There's no pits out there. All right? But, I mean, the first tight end might go maybe, what I'm saying, late 2nd round, possibly 3rd round. Right? That's where the tight ends start. Like around maybe pick 50 or 60, somewhere around there, to like pick 50 to like pick 100 or 120, there could be like 6 or 7 tight ends going. Okay, and they're all like little different flavors, right? Some might be a little bit better blockers, some might be better, taller, better with their hands, some this, some that, so it kind of depends upon what you're looking for, okay? So, I mean, that's something the Giants certainly could wind up doing with their 2 third-round picks. Now, unless they trade and they get another pick or something like that back there, I can't. With their 2nd-round pick, they're not taking a tight end. That's way too high to take a tight end, right? With this class anyway. But maybe one of their 3rd-round picks, they could take a tight end. That would be a huge help because we really need help at our tight end. Okay. Now we certainly could, as I said, draft one, but that also leads us to our offensive line. Okay. Now, we signed Mac Gano. Okay. His career, he has 376 total snaps. All right. He missed all last season with an injury. Okay, so we need help on our offensive line. As I said, we certainly could draft someone too. Hopefully, and I don't mean drafting somebody in the 6th round either. I mean drafting somebody early, like with one of our 2 first-round picks, and then maybe if like Linderbaum or something is there in the 2nd round, maybe do that too. We'll have to wait and see. But you got Corey Cunningham. In his career, he has 562 total snaps. Jamil Douglas, since 2015, okay, has 1,008 total snaps. Okay, you got Max Garcia, who we just picked. I mean, see, you're throwing a bunch of guys in there, and you're going to try to ask them to gel, to help Daniel Jones out if he can play. If Jones can play at all. As I said, we certainly could draft someone, but then you got Parrott coming back from an injury, Lemieux's coming back from an injury, and Gates, you don't even know if he's coming back at all either. So you got Andrew Thomas, right, and the rest of the guys are question marks. You don't know if Lemieux's going to win the starting left guard job. Possibly Feliciano might be the same. Glowinski will probably be the right guard, but he's new. I mean, with the offensive line. I mean, sometimes it takes games for them to start gelling together. I mean, and you go, say, 6 games or so into the season before they start gelling. You only got 10 games left. I mean, I'm saying as far as helping Daniel Jones, setting him up for his what could be his last season. As I said, it's not Shane's fault. This is the hand he was dealt. It's just kind of more or less like Daniel Jones, I guess, in one respect, is, if you want to call him, is kind of, it is what it is. I mean, he's kind of getting screwed. We can't sign anybody to help him out because we have no money because of what the last regime did, right? We're screwed. If Daniel Jones was able to stay around for one more season, when we have some money, maybe we can bring in a couple, not a boatload, but maybe a couple nice guys, nice pieces to help him out. But Daniel Jones may not be around then. So in one respect, Daniel Jones is kind of getting screwed because, this is his make or break season, all right, for him. So we don't have all the pieces and all the weapons that we need to really, really help him out. Okay, so in one respect, he is kind of getting screwed. But on the other hand, all right, most quarterbacks who get drafted in the top 6 or top 10 or so, all right, if they're around there for their 4th season, that means they're on to bigger and better things. Not many quarterbacks drafted in the top 10, all right, make it to their 4th season and the team is still like, yeah, we don't know if he's our quarterback or not. You know what I mean? So, in one respect, Daniel Jones is kind of getting a little screwed, right? But in another respect, he's kind of lucky because, as I said, most quarterbacks taken as high as he is, don't make it to their 4th season without the team, with the team just saying, yeah, we still don't know if he's our quarterback. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!